here, and then okay, live, and it's live on Twitch, and in a couple of moments, we'll be freaking live on the freaking YouTube. And then that means that we're okay. We're fucking at it. So we're at it, sisters. Let's fucking go. Welcome, everyone. I should probably maybe give a couple of seconds for people to start watching instead of immediately going into welcome. But also, I don't want to stall any longer. We've been waiting long enough. People can catch the welcome on the freaking VOD. Welcome, everyone, to the last session of Holy War, the one in which the Holy War may or may not happen, or begin, I should say. If you don't know what this is, if you're watching the VOD or catching this stream for the first time randomly, don't know what's happening, this is a streamed game from my community. I'm a professional GM. My name is Jesse William. That is filling in a little bit of plot in the Tales of the Shared Empire anthology, a series of games in which I am running for a long time. Usually, when we start these sessions, we go to have everyone say hi. We're not going to do that. We're too hot today. We're going to do an unusual cold open, which is difficult for me because it's so much easier for me to start a session after everyone else has talked. But that's not the case today. We're just going to start. I think you could spend your whole life in the dark of Day Diumni and not get used to the cold. It is unnatural. I think it feels isolating. You don't feel the warmth of the people around you, no matter how tightly you are packed. And the way that light fails to reach the ground of Day Diumni, I think, gives a greater sense of that isolation. We'll pick up with our little guy Gus, standing or sitting, or I guess you can describe, but somewhere in the dark, having a moment to himself before things will change in this land. Describe for me what Gus is doing and how he is doing it.
Gus would be sitting. There is a bottle of some sort of liquor, whatever would be appropriate, that he's looking at. And he's just kind of staring at it for a little bit. But then he reaches into his pocket, pulls out a battered notebook, like it's his songbook where he would generally kind of write things. And he's going to begin writing not so much a song, but just I think this is how he would get out his thoughts in a way. And he's just going to try to connect to the general on the, I guess, the eve of whatever this is, or maybe
The morning,
before
I
it,
think.
the morning. And yeah, he's just gonna start writing, and I wrote something that I think he would connect. So he says, "Some say I'm a poor soldier. I believe they fail to see the truth of our bond. Their focus is too narrow to see another way to serve. I serve you, and I serve those who would raise arms in your name. My body wears their stories. My voice sings their songs. My soul keeps them fighting. Today, I repledge myself to you. I will reshape myself as the one before me. I would bring justice to those who would wield your power for vanity. Today, I fight to prove myself to you, whether in victory or defeat. I pledge myself in life. I pledge myself in death. Guide my sword, steady my shield, and let your will be done. And then he takes his mace and just cracks the bottle that was on the ground, and closes the book, and maybe just sits there and tries to feel anything that might come his way, any feelings or anything like that.
I think the start of these feelings, I think Gus might not realize are coming from outside of him. I think there are a lot of conflicts within Gus. Um, how determined is Gus to let himself die? Like that's a thing that crosses your mind of like if you are you going in to save yourself and save the people around you? Are you going to do your mission no matter what?
I think at least in this moment, he's going in ready to do whatever is necessary to make sure that this power doesn't end up in the wrong hands. That's how he's feeling at this moment. That may
Mm-hmm.
change, but right now, after seeing like what Redmond is becoming and the danger that he associates with Okaran or Okaran, sorry, um, he is ready to do whatever's necessary.
Thinking about Okaran in your mind, imagining him there in front of you, your weapon in hand. How would you kill him?
Dark question. I believe he would take the chain of his mace and just or flail and just wrap it around the neck and squeeze.
He's fighting you when you're doing so. How hard of a fight is it?
One on one, I don't think he would envision it as very hard. But
That's the right answer.
yeah,
Um, you, from those feelings in your mind, uh, suddenly feel your hands around the chain of your flail wrapped around his neck and see his eyes and see the fierceness and see the struggle. And you realize that this is part of the dedication. The feelings, the last couple of feelings you felt, the kind of questions you're almost asking yourself, were not you asking yourself. think one last detail. There is a light in his eyes that is not his own. There is something that is in him that he serves that belongs to the general. What happens to that?
You said in his eyes,
Mm-hmm.
thinking back to Luana and the halfling. I think he would just reach in and pull the eyes out in a brutal way.
Uh, Hell yeah. You push him into the ground and smash his head so he's dazed as he's choking for air. Let go of the mace as or the chain as he tries to gasp for air, and plunge your fingers into his eyes as he screams. And as you pull them out, you see like a reflection of your own eyes for a second, and that fire within you. And then you come back to in Daydumni in the darkness. And do you think this is also Gus being a champion? Or do you think he has a different connection to higher power, whether it be devotion or exchange?
Interesting. I'm trying to think. I don't know if it's champion. It feels like devotion or exchange, but I'm trying to
Do,
imagine if this is like a bargain at this stage for like
I
more power
think
or for an act of
if it was a
devotion.
bargain, it would be Gus having to convince himself more. Right? It's if his heart wasn't truly in it, in this moment, it would be an exchange. If it was I'm all about my business, it would be devotion.
I think I believe it is devotion because in his mind he also always has been devoted. Yes, people tell him he does it the wrong way, but it's also a devotion to the general, but like I said, also a devotion to those who serve the general. So I think that maybe makes more sense to me.
Um, so you feel that power awaken inside of you, which means also your dice for your combat skills ascend, um, which works out better for you. Uh, and then you don't have any higher power dice because you have to earn all the ones from devotion. Um, and you might not have an opportunity to do so before you're face to face with your next opponent. Um, any last thoughts for Gus before we pull away from him?
I think he puts pen to paper to begin writing a letter to his daughter, and the only thing that he gets through is her name before he kind of doesn't know what to say. And much as he has for most of his life, he just gives up, I think, at that stage for that connection.
We see on the horizon a red glow that breaks through the darkness. A vast emergence of the seed of unrest, a place called Chrysium in Daydumni. 'Umni. We are at, in the morning, the Vinici Steppe, a location a healthy distance away from Chrysium. We see maybe 3,000 to 4,000 members of the Legion who've gathered around, all organized in their units. We see the 5 tortured knights of Ilkady. We see Acharon, the priest. And we see a new creature which he has brought into this world. The risen Ilkaden. Similar to the tortured knight, but taller, beyond the limits of what a normal person could grow to, some 12 feet tall, with beautiful angelic wings, with red marbling through them, thick red marbling, horns, as well as touching the horns, what looks like a halo. This being is a light in white flame, and I think stands or floats rather a little bit off the ground in a quite noble, angelic way, holding this large, serrated sword, letting it hang low to the ground. In this moment, I think maybe the words of Acharon are not so important. I think we begin to see the eyes of different members of the Legion standing and looking up. There is fear, determination, anger, cruelty, brutality. On this morning, Acharon dedicates all of these soldiers to service, to slay the enemies of the general. Today marks the beginning of a holy war. Clouds collect. And darken the already dark sky. And a light rain begins to fall. One which pierces the cold of De Diumni. It's hot, steaming. It touches the skin of these soldiers. They feel it ever so briefly wash across them, hurt them. In this moment, Nicodemus as a soldier amongst all of these people, what do we see in your eyes? And what do you feel when this dedication is made?
I think his eyes typically he very much kind of assumes a kind of slouchy, beady-eyed kind of state. But I think his eyes kind of light up with a kind of fire. He stands straighter, shoulders pulled back, uh, head upright, and I think he's filled with a kind of rage, like I think a kind of fervor that he is here to bring. I think in his mind he calls it justice um, to the people that took, like, robbed him of his home, his family, um, and I think he's thinking about inadvertently the destruction of the enemies of the general.
And Redmond, watching this gathering, knowing that this is the start of something, with maybe one fold, which is that at this point, Gus and Ismarie have already left. I think you would be given that information.
Mhm.
With most of this army to march off today, to earn the right for these forces to bring in the forces of the general. What is going through Redmond's head, and what do we see in his eyes?
I think, honestly, if we see, I think we see this confidence that has been budding. A lot of like what Redmond has been saying has been not backed by as much confidence as much as it was, rules behind stuff that like protected him. And I think now knowing that in his mind he's on the right path, he's with his God, completely changes your whole like worldview. And he is the farthest thing from doubting. And so right now it's just confidence. And in his mind, he is thinking about the weight of these decisions, the the lesser of two evils, one way. Since, one way is have fighting a holy war that could save a bunch of lives in the future, but also will definitely ruin a bunch of lives in the media, like in the meantime. But again, he's not, I don't think there's cracks. I think it's mostly confidence. And then a little kid believing in a lie, maybe.
There are a handful of non-Legion present. Different, like, adventurer types. Um, Two of which you have seen before. One of them being the Usimic knight, Roniker, and his companion being a keeper of balance, but Aki and her other friend are not here. I think you would have seen them or heard that they were talking about, like, what each of them wants, and knows that this is not in the interest of Aki.
Mhm.
But a Usimic knight, a servant of justice, sensible for him to be here. And keepers are loyal. We'll roll a luck check. I think I'll have John roll it. And we'll continue.
Not bad. 3, 5, 6.
In case someone's tuning in and has no idea what a luck check is, roll 3d6, and we are looking for matches. So 1 match is mixed luck, 2 matches is good luck, 3 matches is perfect luck, and no matches is bad luck. So I roll 3d6, John rolls 3d6. The dice I have rolled are 2, 2, 2. Bad luck. Meaning that lies is not so wise to the happenings of today.
This was luck 4 lies.
This is luck in regards to lies. But this is
Sorry.
distinctly luck for
We need lies to be
need lies
causing
to-
problems for us to.
Where did my brain?
Oh, sorry. It was actually 2, 2, 2.
Oh shit! Oh, lies is all over. Shortly after the dedication, the rain stops, the cold settles in, and most of these forces leave for Chrysium, while 3 legions stay behind to defend the place that these beings will enter from. That is Redmond's legion and 2 others. Yeah, I think we'll do here. It would be so much easier to run the session with lies interfering, but complications. Aki, Ismarie, Gus, and the Gargori Sylphine. I am going to leave details, a specific detail out of this scene, which I will include later for fun. You really needed lies to catch wind of what was going on. You can see from your vantage point in the distance, like the engagement of the legions and the Dark Imperium on Chrysium, and you can see nothing is coming for the Vinici Steppe. In conversation, you must decide how you want to proceed, knowing that you have no support to get you to your goal. Or rather, to like help keep the enemies occupied.
Leave it to lies to upset plans.
The one time they are not ahead of things.
So we're fucked, right?
We were fucked with lies intervening anyway. This just changes plan.
Aki, you know this land better than we do. Is there Anything else we could use, whether it be environment or otherwise, to help?
We will need a big distraction. But that may leave some of my men out of the conflict.
What was the Gargori's name again?
Sylphine.
Sylphine, I can think of one big distraction.
That is our ticket to get all of us to Okaran.
What could it do when we're there?
Maybe keep those devils off of us, but then there are hundreds of soldiers around to contend with.
If we can take out Okoron fast, we may be able to turn the tides, but it's a big risk.
If our only goal is to kill him, then all of us will die in the process. That is something that I can make my peace with.
Problem is that it the problem is that we would succeed for now. And the second part of the overall plan goes down the drain. Somebody will pick that mantle back up. And this time it probably won't be Gus.
I prayed last night. I had a vision. Taking the light from Okaron's eyes. I feel different. If I'm able to succeed I don't know for sure, but I feel that I could control those creatures. Or at least command their respect.
Those creatures, they are under the command of the general, correct?
I think overall, yes, through a conduit to the mortal plane.
If you and Okaran are on equal footings, would the general want to side with a soldier until he knows one is stronger than the other?
I think the general would side with power, whatever form that takes. And servitude.
Hmm. It's a big if, but if the general will not use his devilly summons to fight you, Gus, perhaps we can focus our needs on the Legion, because they will stop you, regardless of the general's favor.
Question for God.
Mm-hmm.
And this question could not have an answer, but I'm like, I'm Ismray, and I would explore every option available. Um, do I know it all? And from any like digging, would Ismray find out at all? Any like listening and linger, like kind of like last time, lingering in places he really shouldn't be lingering. Um, would I know at all, or any of us know at all, how this like summoning or whatever you want to call it would take place?
No. Oh, so like outside of like the summoning happens by the members of the Legion who've been dedicated from the morning's ritual, basically like fighting as they should, right? It's like are they worthy enough warriors to be sent, better warriors? Um, I think the question here, right? So logistically, um, it is just shy of or around 1,000 to it's 1,000 to 6 plus a medium-sized dragon. But then the other side also has 5, or technically now 6 powerful entities, right? So it's like you are fucked. I think what this comes down to is like you either blitz them, you fly in on the dragon and try to murder Okaran as fast as you can and take control, or like you walk right up to them and present a direct challenge to Akaran to be like, I'm Gus taking control. Um, but I think Gus would have to. Oh, what's the phrasing I want to use right now? Gus would have to realize that and put a lot of faith in himself and in the general.
Yeah, like in I believe Aki and David have hit on something there where the general may just want to watch, and this person is not a commander. They do not have, yes, they have these forces or whatever, but they don't command the Legion. Redmond technically does at this stage. So yeah, that direct challenge I think would make sense. And whether we go about that by blitzing and then the direct challenge, or however we want to go about it, I'd leave that maybe to the team to decide. But yeah, I think that's an insight for sure that Gus would be thinking that, and feeling maybe with this connection that the general would want to see that result.
So then to shift topic, and we can do this in character or out of character, but whether or not you want to go for the blitz or you want to go for like presenting yourselves and trying to confident your way in, essentially.
It is a tough decision, but I pose one question because it all depends on one person. Would Redmond let you pose a challenge to Ocaran?
Jesse, is there like do we have laws about this sort of thing in the yeah, no. So there's no like rule book for this in terms of okay.
I think Redmond will do whatever makes him, whatever is self-important.
What if we challenged him as well? I'm not sure his ego would let him turn it down.
And
I'm
who
not
is
sure he
going
would
to
do it without
challenge?
Nicodemus. Sorry, Aki, go ahead.
Who is going to challenge Redmond? I am not one of the General's Legion. I don't believe I have such privileges.
I, I'm not sure what it would mean coming from me. As in actuality, I don't quite believe. But I've worn these colors for years now. I'll do it if there's no one else.
Izzy, do you fight for a cause?
I do.
It doesn't matter what it is. You don't have to serve the general, or you don't have to serve the legion, excuse me. But if you fight for a cause, you raise weapons for a cause, and you serve the general.
I respect that that's what you believe. And maybe when this all is over, my opinion will have changed as well.
I believe you can do this, whether you do or not.
I don't think it's a bad plan, but I do think we should have a contingency. Like I said, I think that Redmond will do whatever makes him feel self-important. And I think that would extend to other members of the Legion as well. We can't rely on what they think is honorable.
I don't think Nicodemus will sit idly by. They are connected, especially after this ritual.
So then the choice is fly in directly and attack them.
I think that there is merit to the direct challenges, if only in buying us time to rid ourselves of the main problems. However, it could have bought us time for nothing if all of them, especially Nicodemus, decides at the end that they don't care. I think regardless of what we do, we're taking a risk. I think regardless of what we do, there's a good chance that we don't walk away from this at all.
I am not Legion, but I can tell you it is braver to face enemy at the front. And perhaps Legion feel the same.
Aki, Sylphine. If it seems we are to fail, will you take this creature, grab Ocaron, and just fly? Put as much distance as you can. Maybe that will help break whatever this ritual is.
We'll see what we can do.
Should we face them directly then?
You said it was like pouring rain. Jesse?
No, it was only very briefly the light drizzle for the dedication. That was like holy rain that came from the general. So clear skies.
It's not a bad night to die.
The land remember this tiny bit of bravery. Are we ready?
Israel will just nod. Sorry, that face was Tucker's anxiety.
born in. I think I just punched Esmer's shoulder.
Ow.
1 point.
Major break.
No.
Okay. So in that case, to be clear, when you say facing them directly, is like landing,
Challenging
yeah,
them,
and
yeah.
challenging, yeah, not like landing immediately attacking, but okay, cool, wonderful. In that case, Redmond and Nicodemus, there is like a like a break in the land where the rock just kind of comes up to create a slight elevation. That is the step. Most people are in front of or around the step, and then this sort of inner few and the creatures from beyond are sort of just on top of it. It's only like 10 feet up, but are on top of it where Akaron intends to like call the forces forward. You see, flying in the sky, a glint of gold, and then landing in front of the Legion forces, a dragon, which is not entirely unexpected. You can do the quick math of the third of Aki's companions, whether or not you know the Gargory's name, and maybe Aki. Do you have Intuit?
Nope, just intellect.
Okay. So then, I don't think you see, from this distance who gets off, but regardless, you see the dragon.
Where did it go?
It landed
Like
in
land.
front of the forces.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then, I think he's gonna, because it seems like this person wants to talk to someone, right? That's what I guess is if they're.
It could just be an ally touching down, like
Uh, oh yeah, well then I'm not gonna do anything then.
Okay.
Especially if it doesn't seem to Redmond like it's something you should do.
Okay. A little bit of his wisdom failing him, or his absence thereof.
Yeah, he's
So,
intelligent, not wise.
hell yeah. I think there's also something to be said of like not in a million years would you think Gus and Ismarie would be getting off to come to confront you. You're like, they're gone. You're like, what are they gonna do? You know, like it's just it's beyond you to even
Yeah.
think of them.
Who?
Exactly. Any reaction from Nicodemus as you see the same standing beside Redmond?
I mean, this dragon, like we know that there's been the Golgori with Aki and stuff, so I think he might be a little more suspicious. But I mean, he's standing next to 6 creatures from Ilkadi, and there's a few thousand Legion troops, so he's a little curious, but not really like on high alert or anything.
Andy, can you also roll me a luck check on behalf of the Legion?
Yeah. What color dice are we thinking for that?
If you have any white or gold dice.
I definitely have gold and white dice. I got 1 gold already. Straight up white ass dice. You know what? I'll just roll the gold dice 3 times. All right.
What you got?
2, 3, 6.
In order for this ritual to be successful, you'll need a total of 5 matches over multiple luck checks. my set this time are 3, 3, 6. So 2 out of
Already
5.
two.
You can feel the beginnings of it. All of you can feel the beginnings of it. The land, the material border of the mortal plane softening, getting ready to break for something else to come through. But yeah, Gus, Aki, Ismarie, and Sylphine all dismount from this dragon whose name is Yugur, or Yugurur. It's, I'm not going to pronounce it. He's got a weird name. It's Russian-esque. But I think all will begin to sort of walk sort of through the lines of the Legion with in absence of command. I think especially with a dragon, which is, again, like a medium-sized dragon, like not huge. I will begin to move through and forward for our 3 PCs as you move through these lines and begin to approach the step and Okaran. You can see Redmond and his little pet Nicodemus
What do you mean?
standing
His friend.
beside. What is the vibe for the 3 of you?
Well, I think I will start first. Why not? Can we see the divine creatures
Yeah.
from where we're standing?
Especially the one, the like tall one which towers
Yeah.
over. You see it almost like staring at the only different thing around.
I think while Aki's walking forward, she is determined, but a bit of a glimpse of the crystals that like break out of its head into these horns shake her hands a little bit with fear. But she keeps walking.
I think for Ismarie, any anxiety he has around dying here is more about him trying to make peace with his promises. There is like a steeling himself on the conviction that this honors Noel's memory. That even if he dies after and nobody remembers him, that like Aki has been saying, the land remembered him and the land will remember this. I think that's like where his mind is. And so I don't think he seems particularly anxious. Because like the idea of death isn't necessarily the thing that is scaring him here.
Gus walks with pace, with purpose. There's a conviction that's maybe been lacking since the events of this campaign. Maybe he's a little bit closer to the person that he was in Folia before the year of drinking and fear of the Oracle. And yeah, I think maybe his shoulders are just a little bit higher than they've been in the last little bit, and he's just, if they're coming out to face us, he's just pacing direct line towards them.
You have a charm? You're a charming guy?
I have some stuff that I can add to it just from warrior stuff because he's got like rough edges, I think it's called. So he's has charm through that I can add, but not an actual skill.
I think then that this will have to come down to a luck check for you, to see how far you make it before someone steps in your way.
Can I counter with something?
Sure, yeah.
If it's anybody that I've ever fought with, I have rapport with anybody that I've ever fought with through some of my character traits as well.
Oh yeah, I see. Not reputation, but rapport.
I know it's not exactly, but
So in that case, low stakes luck check.
Okay.
Which means you only need one match for good luck.
Better than last time. One, 2, 6.
2, 4, 6. People having been, some of these people having been ordered to like help corral you this morning before you left. Look at you with this conviction and recognize that you are not the same person. That something is different. There's a fire in you that is soldier-like, that they don't question in this moment. However, at a certain point, like 90 or so feet away, Redmond will see 4 figures in the dragon, now like coming into clarity, and can see Gus and Ismarie and Aki and Sylphine and this dragon. You see their faces and recognize them.
Fuck. So, just reel me in on the situation here. So, they're here to maybe stop me. This is only obviously Redmond's perspective. What does Redmond think they could probably try by? Are they walking to him specifically?
Well, you're next to Ocaron. You're not 10
Okay.
feet from Ocaron, so they're walking towards generally where you
Yeah.
are.
Okay. So I think he tries to call the summoned thing that he summoned, which probably by now left, and that's fine. Uh, you have to learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
And then he calls people's attention to it. Nicodemus asks him to be ready if he needs to disappear, do that now. Uh, Probably with a bit of urgency in the now. And yeah.
So you're telling people just to be ready?
Well, I mean, Nicodemus knows that Gus and Ismarie are a problem.
Mhm.
So Nicodemus needs to get ready.
Mhm.
We also told them, the Legion, that Ismarie and Gus need to be in the front line,
Mhm.
so on and so forth. So the fact that they're here, yeah, he's telling his guards to be ready, prepared for anything. These people went to the front lines and they're back. Maybe they're corrupt. Maybe they're here for problems.
Okay.
Whatever it is, we want to be ready.
So, but you're just saying ready, nothing else. Okay.
Yeah, I think his worry is maybe they're corrupt by lies because they were at the front lines.
Okay, so then that's then no one will stop Gus from getting closer. When you get in shouting or talking range, Gus, what do you do? I think also to describe, you just see for Ocaron, you just see him like kneeling and sort of eyes closed, praying, not even like present in the moment.
Can I do one thing real quick?
Sure.
Can I don't know how possible it would be on the terrain, but can I attempt to hide either in
You can like slip into amongst the soldiers if you want.
okay. Let me roll that real quick.
Honestly, just happy that Nicodemus gets to use hiding and stuff.
Oh, that's really good. A 42 stealth.
Oh.
Just in the crowd of Legion.
So you slip in and watch them from the crowd. But yeah, Gus, what are you doing?
Redmond.
How long until
This
the
is
ritual's over? No, I'm joking. Just wait it out. Sorry. My bad. I didn't know you were still talking.
this is where you hide while good soldiers die.
Redmond steps towards you with, a few guards trailing. Probably people who were like, why are we here to protect you from Gus? Okay. They're just going because he's his commander in the Legion, I would assume. And he walks up to, not shouting distance anymore, but definitely not like
Also,
you
to
could.
help, like picture, right? You're like 10 feet up. You're on the step. Gus is
Oh, yeah.
below.
Okay, that
So you
makes
have
sense.
like a little bit of the like thing there. So I don't know if Redmond would really want to like give the high ground. It's also like if you're talking down at him or even like
Yeah.
speaking loudly down at him is also like a position of power.
Yeah, that's what Redmond was trying to get then. And so that works just by being higher. I have the high ground. Um
Insert Star Wars meme here.
yeah, I am where I am needed, unlike you.
You don't think they all notice
That you disobeyed a direct order?
that you cower every time we have a fight somewhere where you're safe and others are not?
Charon will open his eyes, and you'll see him rise, but he won't speak yet. But you just see him rise, like in the peripheral behind Redmond.
My place is not at the front of battle, Gus. Yours is.
What about his? What is your grand strategic plan to send a mage with no frontline experience to the front line of a battle against lies? What was your reasoning? Go on.
I don't know if this would be as long as Redmond would wait, but also Andy's trying to think. You did catch me out there. That was good. Um, my problem though is obviously I don't want his answer to be too thought out because that's not Red like intellect wise, that's
Well, I think,
not Redmond.
yeah. Well, I think it's also a thing of like Gus has also caught Redmond here in being like, yeah, you were just trying to kill them, which is maybe where
Yeah.
Akaran steps in. Um,
I
and
think okay, yeah, I have an idea.
will step up and say, it matters not. The battle defending this position is here. The enemies have not made it, which means that we have nothing to worry about.
I think you set your sights too high.
To
And I think
Akaran.
you should
To Akara.
I set my sights too high.
You heard me.
I could not begin to fathom what you mean. The Holy War starts today. It is happening. The soldiers at the front are earning it. I can feel it as we speak. I am right where I need to be.
You're so smug. I've seen eyes like yours before. You don't care about the general. You don't care about the legion. You care about yourself. And you care about power. And I don't think you're fit to wield it.
Ah, there it is. What do you think you're going to do on this day? Challenge me?
You think you're the only one who can have visions? I'm going to take the light from your eyes.
The tortured knights will sort of take a couple of steps forward, and as well as that, like, risen Ilkaden will sort of plant its feet on the ground and sort of just extend sword out, not in like a directly threatening way, but just kind of like whatever it's doing is kind of part of its, like, preparation. Huge sword. I think, like, dragon will kind of raise its haunches, and then Roldan and the Roniker and the Keeper of Balance will also sort of like turn towards the and take a couple of steps forward towards the tortured knights. No one immediately moves to like attack, but it's just kind of like the tensions here. As Sylphine also sort of takes a step forward or whatnot. Akaran will kind of look around. Let's roll at this point. Andy, another luck check.
I have my actual dice that I'm gonna use for that. They're gold and white. They work. They work. All right. One's metal, the others are not. All right. Damn, there's some uh tendencies today. 2, 4, 5.
2, 4, 5. 1,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
1,
Uh-huh.
6.
Oh, wow.
No more progress on the Holy War, which
Don't worry, we'll
out,
get the next one.
works out in Gus's favor. Yeah, Okarn will look down at you. You've made a threat saying I'm going to take the light in your eyes. How does he respond? Because you've not like directly said I challenge you one-on-one. So it's
I can force that if you want.
well, it's also the thing of like I think Okaran will look to Redmond to essentially like you have hundreds of soldiers around to command to kill these people.
And I
So
think
maybe that can
yeah, I think at that moment it snaps him out of this funk that Gus threw him in by calling him out so fucking viciously that he didn't know what to say, and neither did the person playing him. I think he'll uh I don't know, probably grab like a fucking staff from someone or some shit and slam it on the ground, and probably not nearly as impressive as he wishes it was, but basically yell, "You dare threaten one of the Legion while we are fighting a war against lies. You are hereby sentenced to death."
But we came to die.
Then you will leave with your wish. And then he's gonna signal. I don't know exactly how that would work, but
Yeah, well, so I'll clarify something. Like no, I won't spoil anything. Do you order just like the soldiers around to kill Gus and crew?
yeah.
Okay.
I think as they,
Yeah, I'm
I would say so.
because you are infected by lies and threatening the leader.
So yeah, go ahead, Gus.
A challenge.
That's what lies
I'll
wants.
I'll
You will be
also
killed
I'll
now.
reframe for Gus's urgency. When Redmond gives the order, people immediately start stepping toward you. You have to disarm that. You have to in at this moment make a case as to why these people shouldn't intervene. That is suddenly immediately a problem for you.
Can I say
You can
something?
also say something, absolutely.
I think that when people step forward in that sense of urgency, Ismarie will address those people directly. And like looking at them in their eyes. She's not looking at Redmond. And he says, sorry, I know the gist of what he wants to say, but I'm putting together the sentence in my brain. He says, and like loudly, sort of projecting over, he asked them, on what basis do you place your loyalty? What power has he shown you? Or was he just there? And then he will look at Redmond directly and say, perhaps it is time perhaps it is time that you prove that power for everyone to see.
Two things I want to happen. Number one, Jacob, choose someone to attack and roll an attack. I don't think anything is going to be stopping Nicodemus. And then Tucker, if you could, do you have charm?
No, no.
I have
would
to
say
see.
then that's a luck check. To see how well that carries.
Oh, Legion didn't do so well last luck check, so could be your time.
Whenever you want the
Oh, okay,
results.
go give it to me.
1, 2, 4.
2-4. That's been there 4 fucking times already. In the 4 luck checks we've done.
A mixed luck check will result in a very loaded fight against you. A good luck check will result in a challenge basically as present with PCs and Okaron. And a perfect luck check will be a little bit in your favor. 1, 2, 4 is what you rolled. My numbers are 1, 4, and 3. So good luck.
Jesus.
The Legion takes a step forward at the same time. So like they're about to like kind of like raising weapons, about to cut these fuckers down, and sort of hesitate. Because there's also just that like energy that Gus is giving off. Like there's something that I think people are seeing that in this day in honor of the general can like feel something's up with him. Jacob, who are you targeting, and how do you hit?
I target Ismarie. As I think as soon as Ismarie finishes what he's saying, an arrow comes out of the crowd. I have some questions about how I'm rolling damage. This would be considered an ambush.
Yeah.
That ascends my dice once, and then I'm holding position to get the ambush.
Yes.
And with aiming tier 4, that is Ismarie moving or just standing there saying this?
I don't think I don't imagine he would be moving enough. Yeah, like for the purpose, it would be like he would have to be like running or like really,
Okay. So that ascends my dice 2 more times on a target that's not moving. So that would be my stamina dice would be 14, 16, 18s.
Yeah.
Okay.
As a protection fighter, is there anything Aki can do knowing that these two fuckers, aka Gus and Ismarie, are targets number 1, and knowing Nico was threat number 1?
I'll let Jacob roll his dice, and then I think that'll have to be a contested luck between the two of you. I think at best Aki could take the shot, but yeah, I don't think anything's stopping it from hitting anyone.
Can we just level on something before all this, Jesse?
Mm-hmm.
Can we swing only against you, or can we swing against other players?
Yeah, you could swing against other players.
Okay. Just to level set there.
Yeah.
Swing cancels.
Well, I have Redmond swing, so think about that.
I wasn't talking about me, but the legacy. Wait, you have Redmond swing? When did I give it to you? Oh yeah, right in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I almost died.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have a lot of dice.
You opened your mouth and Jesse said, "Oh, speaking of which, cock's gun."
Click.
Honestly, I knew what I was getting into stepping into this character. Redmond is not the best person.
Oh, while that roll is happening, for your information, Jesse, once again, I don't have anywhere to be. So, as a finale, if this runs later, chilling.
Hell yeah.
I have here to be.
62 points of damage as this arrow sails out from somewhere in the crowd. Yeah, just right into the chest.
Were you doing any injuries with that? Or were other elements from
one of my elements was to add stamina. The other element, I wasn't using any other elements, so one of the elements would be puncture. Or no, pierce. A piercing injury.
Hold on. Let me, because you have two elements or 3 elements?
2 elements. The holding position doesn't use an element. I'm
trying to think if the base attack is the first element.
No. No, because I used as what's his name? Who was it? What are the characters I used? Bolgar. I attacked and used 2 elements. and
Yeah, it
they were
says
both injuries.
actions allow you to use your skills and abilities. And under bows, it just says die space. Your weapon provides a die space plus your ammunition. It's an element to use stamina.
Yeah, you could be right. Yeah. So then, yeah. Pierce, Pierce.
Yeah, Pierce, because that's a -3 for
So
yeah.
then that's enough for Ismarie to have to potentially, or someone to have to contend with a severe injury. David and Jacob, or rather Aki Nicodemus, can you give me a contested luck check? So in this case, both of you will roll, and you have to guess how many matches you're going to get with the neutral pool that I roll.
I'm going to say 2 matches.
2 matches. And David, 2 matches as well? Okay. What are each of your sets?
3, 1, and 6.
I rolled a 2, 3, and 6.
I have 3, 6, 1. Which means
Oh no.
that Jacob wins.
Jacob wins.
Because Aki
Oh,
is
yeah.
off by 1 guess.
You didn't want a perfect.
You don't want a perfect. You want to be
Holy
right.
shit. Luck checks are fucking awesome.
Oh.
Hell yeah.
Insanely good and bad for David to have a perfect match, but also in the worst case scenario. So Akias, you're like looking around to be like, where could this sneaky little bitch be? And Ismarie, Taka, you tell me where Ismarie takes the arrow, and then we might need to roll you through like buffers and stuff and how to stop
I
it.
think that Nicodemus said right in the chest, and I think as a credit or to Jacob and to Nicodemus' skills, it hits exactly where Nicodemus intends for it to hit. So right in the chest. I don't know exactly where you think Nicodemus was aiming, but I think again, as a testament to his skill as a soldier, it should hit exactly where he intends for it to hit,
Uh,
not a centimeter off.
Yeah,
So
I think I was aiming for the heart.
your hit points immediately go down to 0,
Okay.
unless you have somehow more than 60 hit points and
Nope. I'm a mage.
which means that your dice descend. The second thing that happens, you need to contend with severe injury, which I think as a young person you should have 3 buffers to do that. I think.
Okay. I've never done anything with buffers before, so I'm sorry. You're gonna have to like lead me a little bit here.
So I'm just gonna double check, where those would be. Character progression, is that before? Yeah. Okay. So tier 1, 1 buffer and 1 action. Tier 3, 1 buffer. Tier 5, 1 buffer, because you guys are tier 6.
Yeah, I think it's 4 because I only have 3 because I'm older.
Yeah.
think it's
So
4
a buffer will reduce the severity of an injury. So severe to major, major to minor, minor to nothing. You have 4 buffers to stop you from taking a severe injury, which would immediately kill you. You'd have to use 3 of those.
I use 3.
Yeah. So Ismarie says this. Everyone stops and an arrow just hits him dead center and like fucking wins you. Like it just immediately like it hits you in a way that takes your energy out, but like isn't a fatal shot, but is like so close to being like just like barely missed between like your heart and lung or something.
I have things to say immediately. I have a thing. If nobody else has something that there's kind of like immediately on their mind, I think that uh Ismarie kind of like fully sort of like steeled himself for like what the outcomes of tonight might be, and so like I think like the adrenaline is definitely fucking moving, but I don't think that causes him to like falter in this moment. Um, I think I think that there is like this moment of like, like the oof, like the air like leaving him. There is like a moment where he sort of doesn't quite keel over, but like you see the front part of his body kind of like fold a little bit, and when he comes back up, that air is in that hoe. Um, and to kind of push his point in what he's going to say, this is more for the flavor, but I guess I could roll it. I don't know exactly like what it means. Um, but I think he will immediately as he starts talking, um, uh, uh, hit some restoration on himself. Um, do some healing, as he says, the power that you utilize is not your own, and you strike from shadows. And I think we see that like same sort of like a aura about him from before, that he is, that same like energy that is always in his magic, once again kind of like pulling from Noel. And I think it is particularly striking in the darkness that is this land, where light does not reach its ground, that his magic, which reminds him of Noel, looks like sunbeams.
We will, from this moment, or sorry, continue if you can say anything else.
I think that the only thing he says at the end is, "You've seen what I can do," and he is addressing more of the crowd here. "You've seen what I can do. Let's see about him. I'd like for him to show me."
We'll move into the engagement here.
Can I say one thing first?
Yeah.
I address Koran. Restore him.
Ooh.
You mean to prove your power. You mean to prove that you are chosen. Do it evenly. Do it fairly. And if you claim to represent the general's will, prove yourself. And let him prove himself as well.
John, I like the moment, but unfortunately that's far too easy to shut down, as he says there is nothing fair about war. Andy, you were also kind of raising your hand there?
I think Redmond, being kind of, no offense to all you Redmond lovers out there, but a bitch, would take the moment of Nicodemus's cool moment and piggyback off of it. And then yeah, he would say, "You are to be executed for treason. That is an order."
On the opposite side of what Gus just said, no one is listening. No one is really. It's Nicodemus and Redmond's responsibility to fulfill that order. Here is what I think will happen. We'll first negotiate movement. The dragon, I think, will leap forward and pick up Gus and put him like a couple of feet in front of Okaran, and then pounce on the biggest creature around.
As like a little kid.
Yeah, as the three companions will try to get in the way of the knights. Aki, movement wise, what is your goal here? I don't think you can see Nicodemus. He like in a bunch in a crowd of people. There's dozens, unless you get really lucky. Um, you really only see Okaran and Redmond, and then Ismarie here, very injured.
Yeah, I think it would be against everything that we're trying for Aki to intervene with the Okuran and Redmond fight. I think it would just do worse than if I didn't help at all. So I know most of the devilish creatures are being encountered by the party, right?
By yeah, like your companions.
I know Nicodemus is not going to be a fair fighter. This challenge doesn't mean anything to them, so I'm going to have to try to find him. Otherwise, Ismarie and Gus are in the arrows in the back sort of situation.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll say there's two things. If you I'd say you probably know general direction of where or Nicodemus just was as far as where he shot is. I think like Ismarie turned to like face one half of the crowd and then just took one to the chest. So you know that you can get in front of Ismarie to hopefully like put your body in front of him for Nicodemus to interrupt Nicodemus hopefully. Um uh or you could leave Ismarie exposed and try to find Nicodemus.
I think right now it will be blocking
Okay.
and trying to catch vision of Nicodemus trying to move to a better angle.
Yeah, I think in order to to get set of Nicodemus, you're gonna have to take one of his arrows. So yeah, you
Yeah.
for the purpose of this, we'll roll another contested luck check here, because uh 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 it's really comes down to a little bit of luck whether or not Nicodemus can see Ismarie to basically take him out. Um, uh, as the two of you roll your pools, what is Redmond doing? Like, is he right now the like to get to Ismarie or Aki, he have to jump down 10 feet, but Gus is kind of right there.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to step in between Gus and Okarun.
Okay.
Yeah, no
One.
question about that.
Um. Okay. So steps. So Tucker, now you can roll that restoration if you want to bring your hit points up. However, I will say, um, restoring your hit points will not bring your dice back up from hitting 0. That is just an effect for the rest of the day. And if you hit 0 again after restoring your hit points, you'll descend again. So it's kind of a spiral.
Can I ask, just so I have like a very clear understanding? Okay, so yes, I'm at 0. My dice are descended. I brought down the severe injury, correct?
Yeah, so you have
or
no
from the
injury.
buffers?
Yeah.
Okay, but my dice are still descended from hitting 0, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And I have 1 buffer left.
Yeah.
I'm at 0, which I'm sure means if I take any more damage, I'm outie.
No. You can take as
No,
much
I don't
damage
know
as
how
you
to use
like. However, the moment you take any kind of injury, that part of it
Okay.
becomes a permanent injury. But more importantly, it's the primary effect of descended dice, and then like basically Ismarie's already on his way out the door. He after like if he's not healed after the fight, he'll but he somehow manages not to be injured, he'll just like pass out. But you're on like red alert.
Okay.
Hit point also to reframe, for your understanding, hit points are more important to maintain above 0, but once they go to 0, then it becomes kind of defeatist to try to keep them up. Like at that point, you've just entered consequence area and there's not much avoiding it.
Okay, could I then hold on, sorry, making sure I'm reading something correctly.
As you're reading, I'll get the numbers and
Yeah, go for it.
predictions from Nicodemus and Aki.
I'm going with another 2.
2, okay.
I'm a gambler. Let's go with 1.
Okay. What are your numbers?
1, 2, 3.
1, 5, 2.
I have 1, a 5, and a 5, which means both of you are wrong. I'll have to re-roll my pool. Andy, you have a question?
No, I guess I heard David's wrong.
We said he claimed 1, and got 2 matches, and then Nick and Jacob claimed 2 and got 1.
I didn't hear the second match. That's my bad.
Jacob, what were your numbers again?
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4. That's 1 match for you and no matches for Aki. Even though you're still both wrong by 1, your level of wrongness is better because you have 1 match and Aki has none. So not only do you get your attack, and Aki doesn't, so you could take out Ismarie here, you also have an opportunity, which means you hit Ismarie before he even takes his turn.
Okay.
Isn't that the same level of wrongness though?
Well, if they're both 1 off their guess, but
it's better to have 1 match than 0 matches.
Yeah.
You once you both are wrong, you go away from how many people guessed to how many matches they have in general.
Yeah.
This
I
is
guess
the second half of it.
It just kind of decentivizes you from ever guessing 1, if that.
Well, no, because what if you get 0 matches?
Well, I just mean, like, yeah, if you have the spread and you guess 2, you're just always, if it goes to that route, you would always have an advantage versus guessing 1. So it's sort of, it's a rules thing, maybe for another conversation. But
yeah, most of the time I re-roll, but sometimes that I've learned that also just sometimes mean you're re-rolling again and again and again and again.
Sure, right.
So maybe it's like, I don't know.
I'm just trying to get some luck on our
Listen, so everyone roll their stuff, decide what they're. So yeah, Tucker, you had a question. Oh, you figured it out?
No, I don't. Yeah, no.
Okay. So yeah, if everyone wants to declare,
Morrison, I don't. If I live this, I might have a question, but I think I'm gonna bye. So, bye.
True. But
is this still an ambush because they don't know my location?
Yeah.
All right, and I moved too. Like I want to.
Yeah. One thing about opportunity is that at a certain level of slip, you get extra elements on your opportunities, though. Do you know?
Oh, that's at slip 4, I think. Or at slip 3. I only have slip 2.
Yeah. So then you'll just have the 1 opportunity or the 1 element on your opportunity, which will slow yourself down. Because so I guess we have to wait for this opportunity, because if Ismarie survives, and he affects Redmond or targets Redmond, that could change things, because otherwise it might be a duel between Redmond and Gus here as well. Because Redmond is stepping in front of Gus, and Okaran probably will let that happen.
I mean, that's my job in his mind as well.
Yeah.
He literally said that when we died for him.
Can I ask a question? Just again, we're shooting all our shots that we have here to try to save everything. We won one luck check where it was we were supposed to have, or it was, I guess, slightly against us. I'm trying to remember what that was.
No, it was luck to even the odds. So none of the soldiers outside of Redmond and Nicodemus are in your way. That was what the luck check is for.
Mm-hmm.
No one is hindering you.
Okay.
So if I'm trying to cause an injury, but I only have 1 element, so it wouldn't do damage, or no, the damage still happens.
Yeah.
Okay. So that will be a 42.
So that's what's your adjustment to injury is -3.
It's yeah, yeah, it's 3 per tier, right?
Yeah.
So that would be 12.
It would be 9, but still.
Oh yeah.
To
I have 4 tiers
well,
of.
it's per tier of injury. So
Oh,
it's
okay.
it's uh uh minor -3,
Okay,
major
that
-6,
makes more
severe -9.
sense.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So one buffer left. Now here's a thing. Tucky, you know about swing. You can contest injuries. So you can try to roll some dice of your pool to contest an injury. Swing is an automatic success. Your hope here to act in the instance could be to swing to contest the injury. Otherwise, you'd be taking if you used your buffer, you'd be taking a major injury, and your dice would be sent 3 times. So then you
Yeah,
would be.
I think ultimately, like thinking about this even just from a character perspective, it is like, I think with the first arrow, Ismarie is like the thing that he thought was going to happen is happening, which is I'm going to die soon. When he first got here, he went, this land will be my coffin. Um, uh, and I think the only thing he has is like staying alive just long enough to maybe assist Gus in some way. Um, and so like the idea of using the swing, not so scary because I think he knows what's coming here in a second anyway. So we'll just use the swing.
Incredible. So opportunity. What does it look like when Ismarie takes the next arrow, but like isn't further injured by it?
I think that his like focus becomes on watching Redmond step to Gus. And he's so kind of honed in that moment that the arrow hits him. He doesn't even look the other way. He's just like solely, like his gaze is solely focused on Redmond. He just kind of snaps the arrow and doesn't really falter at all.
Hell yeah. Wonderful. I will say though. Okay. Tucker, let me know what you're doing because that'll affect what Redmond and Gus are doing. And I'm gonna look up some things to see if Aki has more to do because technically opportunity now you've seen another arrow come at Ismarie, but also maybe it's also sensible for Aki to because like you see another arrow hit, so you see a general trajectory, and then if you were to see a second one, that would confirm Nicodemus's position, and you could go right at him in the next instance, unless you think there's another way around this, David. I'm trying to think like if you see one arrow, like is there a way for Aki to then get to him, or like anticipate the next arrow to protect Ismarie or something. So I'm gonna look into what warrior abilities do you have?
Aki is a not made in the spreadsheets.
Oh, okay. What? So her vibe, do you think would be sort of like movement, weapon, and a thing, or is she more of an armor person?
Definitely armor now.
Okay, so more armored. Um, so that just helps you. And then she would also have been like a physical kind of endure build with the narrative stats. Um, Yeah. So then, when you envision Aki, um, uh, do you envision like a kind of stable tank currently, or kind of like a really scary uh uh like moving knight?
If we're going from the past, it definitely would be moving knight.
Okay. So then we're gonna say you probably have weapon, some kind of weapon, um, armor, and movement. Which means at tier 3 you can choose to move yourself a short distance after movement has been negotiated in an instance. Which means that actually I'll let it be a character choice between Aki and David, a narrative choice, or David and Jacob rather. First arrow or second arrow hits Ismarie. Do you think that Aki spots Nicodemus?
I feel like two shots Nicodemus's skills are good, but three shots seems hard to continue hiding within this crowd.
So after the third shot, you're saying?
No, I feel like after the second shot, she's
Okay.
kind of honed in on
Yeah,
where he's going to be.
anticipating. Okay, so then you can move to him and make an attack. Tucker,
Could I say that I would be a long distance away? Because I also
you
have
know what?
movement, so
Yeah,
I would.
yeah,
So he could start closing the like Aki could start
yeah,
closing the gap.
yeah. Okay, yeah. So then, uh, uh, I will say Aki. I'll I'll say, for the purpose of this, not that it'll make much of a difference for Ismarie's life, but Nicodemus, if you're going to hit Ismarie, your dice will be descended once, which with after all of your other ascensions, still have a lot. But then Aki would be as is. So yeah, what is Ismarie doing to Redmond or Gus?
I apologize in advance. I haven't done too much
Mhm,
combat,
mhm,
let alone magic
mhm,
stuff. And so I am like considering all the things that I have in my arsenal. Because I think that this is like the point in which Ismarie's like, I'm just gonna dump everything into
mhm.
this. I'm just gonna get absolutely fucking stupid with this shit. I'm gonna go stupid, go crazy. Um, uh, so I'm considering like what that looks like
Let's
skill
let's
wise.
start with like what do you want to do to Redmond narratively? Like, do you want to hurt him? Do you want to debuff him? Do you want to buff Gus? Like, what is the point of what you're doing?
I think that oh I think that like yes, that there's like a part of him that like it feels wronged by Redmond and has like a malice towards Redmond. And there's some part of him that would like to see him suffer, but more than anything else, I think he wants to push this idea of like what Gus is. He wants to make Gus seem so much bigger than he is and powerful. Um, so that on the chance that Gus wins this, it is at least, like he does feel like a force to be reckoned with, like somebody who holds power. Um,
Okay. And what are the categories of magic that you have?
I have um I have mostly destroyer. I didn't go all the way up in my lines because I had a little bit of confusion about how exactly the lines worked. So I just picked like a couple basic ones to like think about, you know, in my arsenal. But I know there was a little bit of destroyer, and then like I think I had like one oracle thing I was vaguely interested in, and like a little bit of healer, but mostly into the destroyer route.
Okay. Would you have wrath?
Yes, I have. I That's the big one.
So you could do pure wrath, which you could just dump damage into to uh Gus's hit.
Hmm.
Um melee cut through material ease cover every time too. Choose a target within a medium distance, take damage equal to dice rolled, and taking away action value or contest. Um ooh. Um yeah, that might be the easiest thing to do. To just like delete Redmond. Um, uh,
I'm sorry.
however, I'll say so. There's a thing called punish, which like could take an action value or a contest. I also like the idea of it, like maybe taking away a buffer, like maybe because like if Gus delivers something to Redmond, um, uh, then you could also like help it go a bit further. So maybe that's what Ismarie would want to do, because that would be go a lot further in trying to delete Redmond than anything else.
Can I say something?
Hmm.
I don't plan on fighting Redmond.
Oh, okay. So Redmond
I
will
don't plan
like,
on dueling him.
yeah,
And I was actually going to characterize that I was looking at Ismarie, and there's a bit of a resignation, I think. Like he is steeling himself to do the hard thing, which is, I think he accepts maybe what's happening, and that it may not end well for Ismarie. And I don't know if any of this could convey in a look, but he's looking past Redmond, is what I would say.
okay.
He's not. He's not. He
So
doesn't seem to be.
in the
Yeah.
instance you are not acting at all, or are you doing a magic against Okaron?
I'm going to. I have wrestle and trip. My plan is to throw him down and not
Oh,
fight him at all.
gotcha. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. Ismarie not like, yeah, I don't think Ismarie would be in a place to process that. I also think this all happens so quickly, especially after the second arrow. Um,
I
uh,
think that it is Marie's thought process still the same.
yeah,
Whether or not it's
yeah,
about Redmond, he
yeah.
still wants Gus to have a perceived
Okay,
intense
so then more
power
about
here.
Gus. So
Yes,
in that
this is
case,
more about Gus and less about he's putting more of his faith in the person that he thinks could potentially change things than like letting his
okay,
feeling
okay.
of like being wronged and vengeance kind of take him in that moment.
So then I'll say critical probably is then the one that makes sense to like give Gus a crit on the next guy, or on Okaran. Um, I'll say so there's like a mechanic which is not very difficult to do, and then a narrative which is interesting. Um, uh, okay,
Give me the options.
yeah. So also at this point, if you haven't already, Gus and Redmond can roll their stuff, and hopefully Jacob has as well. Um, uh, Setting up a crit isn't hard. It's a very easy spell. Um,
Mine
uh,
relies on talking to you real quick about
Sorry.
my option. My roles rely on talking to you about my
Okay.
next action.
Um, uh, Basically, the question will come down to, does Ismarie want to just like blow all of his magic in a way that actively damages him, for the narrative of being like, here's this huge,
Yes.
okay, cool.
Yes,
So
absolutely. If it means he's obliterated and dead, fuck it.
yeah,
He
yeah,
thinks he's dead anyway.
yeah. So, um, uh, I'll tell you how many dice is dangerous to roll.
Okay.
And then you can roll above that. So rolling more than 7 dice at once is a problem. Um, you have 20 total dice, I think. So you just give a number as big as you want. And you have a question for me.
Yeah, sorry, I'm reporting the fucking guy on Twitch. Um, anyway, I think Redmond would pull his shield and sword out, and then he would say, in the name of the general, well, he would say, cool. In the name of the general, let justice prevail today. Let my life be a tool to bring justice to those without it. And then I would use a miracle. And uh I'm putting it in your hands, Jesse.
Mhm.
This is for in Redmond, how Redmond phrases it. This isn't for Redmond. This is for, in his mind, yeah.
Yeah. The
So it could be against
yeah.
Redmond in the end.
What do you want from the miracle?
To help me bring justice today. Like, because in the name of the general, let justice prevail today. Let me be your tool to bring justice to those without it.
Yeah.
If that means I have to die as a tool,
Could be a little bit of a monkey's paw here.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we've discovered on the Thursday game that asking for a miracle that is not let you bring justice.
Of the guideline or the ideal
yeah,
of the
yeah.
God, right? Bad.
Helping you bring justice. And Redmond doesn't have a want for what that means, right?
Nope. Literally, he's surrendering that to the general. I think he's given up on making feeling decision type shit like that.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
He doesn't judge anything. He lets the general.
I have everything I need.
Okay. Cool.
Tucker, have you rolled an insane amount of dice?
I only had one question. Just so I fully understand, I don't think the answer is going to matter that much. I think I'm just going to I'm just going to blow my load, if you will. I probably shouldn't do that on stream. But when you are rolling a dangerous amount, what then happens?
You take an
Like,
injury. So basically,
okay.
the
Does that increase with the
Yeah.
level of?
so basically the you know how you have your reclaim.
Mhm.
Say if you were to roll 8 dice, you would need to reclaim 4 of those dice to not be injured. If you were rolling 9, you'd need to reclaim 6.
And you know what? In
If
you
you're
saying
rolling
that and me
10
realizing that I have dyscalculia and I can't do math, I'm just gonna roll 20
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
dice and I'll tell
yeah.
you what the results are, and you just let me
Yeah.
know what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what I was going for. So in that case, Nicodemus, who are you hitting?
If Ismarie is still up, I'm
Okay.
shooting the arrow. I'm guessing into his
I assume you I
back.
kill myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't kill me, I killed myself.
And I rolled 38.
Um,
And I'm doing another injury.
Hell yeah. Okay, wonderful. We'll get there in a second. Yeah. We'll do actually no, yeah, we'll characterize. So Aki, you're running through the crowd, like pushing people out of the way to get to Nicodemus as Nicodemus is sort of backing up. You see the arrow go past. Do you even look to see if it hits?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wonderful. So yeah, you see it hit Aki, or not Aki, Ismarie, in the back. At the same time, Tucker, let me know what number you got.
I figured I'll send them to you so that you can, because it's so many numbers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That way, instead of just
Send them to me, please, not on Zoom, but on Discord.
I was gonna send them on
Yeah.
Discord.
Yeah.
Is that good? Okay.
And maybe while that's happening, I'm trying to bait Redmond in.
Well, there's a funny thing
close.
that'll happen
Go ahead.
there, unfortunately.
Okay, great.
So we'll see in a moment.
Well, if you're trying to bait him into attacking you, I already rolled dice to attack you, so.
Well, I'm trying to trip you off the altar.
Oh, are you grappling me or are you grappling Okarun?
No,
I said
I'm trying to trip you and throw you backwards off the altar, so I don't even have to deal with you, and then go.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that makes sense.
But it sounds like Jesse
Wait.
has either a good complication or a bad.
Wait, did I roll the wrong dice? I'm rolling
D8s.
D8s. Okay, I did. Hold on. Ignore everything I just sent you. It's because I had my
You
like
roll
online dice
D12s
roller
now.
set to D6s, and I didn't
I
change it
will,
over.
because this we've been
Whoops.
doing math forever. Don't worry about it, because rolling all your dice is so extremely deadly.
Peace out.
And creates such a high number that it goes beyond the point of contest. Mechanically, what is happening is that you're
I wish I had
delivering
gang signs.
an extreme effect to a Charon that he cannot prevent from happening. Basically, like a one-hit KO, at the cost of your absolute obliteration. So Aki, you look back at Ismarie, and that light of the day, colored in like a little bit, I think of like light of the general as well. That kind of magic also breaks through a little bit. Just a huge emittance of light from Ismarie. Is there anything you want to characterize about Ismarie's final moments?
I think you kind of like hit the nail on the head with how it looks, you know. I think that the only thing I'll say is that in those kind of last moments, what is going through his head, there is almost like a realization. There was a so much of his thoughts up until this moment was like, you know, will I be failing Noel? I will die. I won't be here to remember. Is this enough? Is this enough honoring his memory that I can go in peace? And I think that there's like a realization in that moment, like looking at Gus. And perhaps like a level of hope that I don't think Ismarie has ever had. I think he's deeply cynical, and we've seen that from him time and time again. Um, and in a strange moment of hope, he and maybe a bit of coping in his death and what he knows is his death. I think he just has the thought like Gus will remember. And that's it.
Magical scarring. A severe magical scarring injury damages your soul itself. The damage done diminishes your soul and breaks the tether it has to your body. I would like you to roll a luck check. I think this has to be high stakes. Or no, we can account for, we'll do regular luck. Let me know what your numbers are when you have them.
I don't know about this one, Chief. 611.
3, 4, 5. Then you have a choice. In this moment, to bring about an extremely powerful aid to Gus comes at the cost of your complete obliteration, body and soul. A very difficult thing to do. But you also die a soldier. A good soldier. In the brief moment before your soul goes completely, does Ismarie have the instinct to serve knowing instinctually that it is to the general, or would he rather be completely gone?
Oh, that's a hard one. Oh, fuck you, John. Fuck you. Fuck you. I'm gonna kill you. I don't know where you live, but I'm coming to your house. I have bricks. They have your name on it.
That's not nice.
And you know, in that way, I know I don't think he would want to be completely gone. I think that fucking echoes through eternity. He fights for a cause. Fuck you.
So we'll cut. As the light comes down, Redmond is not standing anywhere to be seen. Gus, as you go to grab and trip him, throw him off, you reach forward and he disappears in the flash. Ismarie, his body is 90% torn open by magic, and as if he was a piece of wood that was burnt away to ash in multiple places and glowing. And not glowing what in most cases when this happens is blue, but is white of that light of the general. Like to the point where he looks like a geode. There are parts of his body that on the outside are as if almost nothing happened, if maybe like a little bit of scorching. And then the inside, any place he's opened up, like up his face, all through his body in huge chunks, like a glowing white geode. And his body just falls and breaks probably in a couple of places. Redmond, you wanted to bring justice. There's no one here to bring justice to. You are given a boost of power and become a better warrior. And then you are sent to the front lines where you can best bring justice.
That's hilarious. Oh.
Aki still, I think. Well, actually, Nicodemus, you see, Redmond disappear, and you also see the flashbang of Ismarie, and then Ismarie fall, of his own accord. What is Nicodemus doing when he sees Redmond, disappear?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think I lowered my bow. There seems to have been two divine things happening in front of me. And Nicodemus is crafty, but he's not smart, especially. So I think he doesn't know what's going on. And so I will just stand there, just kind of open mouthed.
I think also in this moment you see Gus then, and we'll also let John characterize this a little bit, but probably like advance on Okaron, which might be doubly distracting, which I think narratively means Nicodemus does not move, and Aki will close distance, and then we'll resolve that maybe a little bit narratively, maybe a little bit of combat-wise, but focusing on Gus. Flash of light, Redmond is not there. Okaron is like just has this incredibly like pained, like confused feeling, but like the fierceness and dedication is not gone, and he meets your eyes. He is, by standard, more powerful than you. This is the moment that it matters the most. Gus cannot afford to be distracted. Gus must be a better soldier than he is, a better servant of the general. Does he look behind him to look at Ismarie?
He made his choice when he moved forward. He's steeled himself already.
Do you think Gus's faith is stronger than Okaran's? I'll also add context above table that Gus does not know, but he is extremely powerful. He's extremely faithful. Like he has flaws, but not in his faith. So this is a dedication that Gus would be undertaking to have stronger faith.
Yeah. I believe he thinks his faith, his service is more pure than Okaran's. And I think, as he alluded to in his prayer to the general, he's decided to become something different in the mold of Luana. So I think at this moment, steeled, especially by what just happened, like he doesn't know what happened to Redmond. He just saw Redmond disappear. So I think that would be even more emboldening to him that like that something wants him to move forward and succeed. Sorry,
especially if he heard what Redmond said.
Yeah, true.
Because Redmond was directly asking the general to intervene.
Yeah.
And not picking a side. So there was a chance that Redmond, what he thought would happen is Redmond would stand on this high hill after you get destroyed or something, but instead it was the opposite.
Yeah. And he's always thought you were blinded by like this idea of justice, and it was just proven in front of him. So I think all these factors at this moment, he does believe he's more truly faithful.
Well, it's not if he believes, it's John believes.
Wait, sorry, it's not if Gus believes, it's if John believes?
It's if this is a character choice for you, if you think Gus's faith is stronger.
Oh, yes. Sorry, yes, I do. Yes.
Wonderful. Between Nicodemus and Aki will close the distance. I also think like as that happens, I think some of the Legion members will kind of like part ways to like let Aki just like go right up. And maybe even if Nicodemus does step back or try to step back, some of them will like get in your way a little bit. How do the two of you think this goes down? Is this a fight, or is this a moment?
I think this is a moment.
Yeah.
Nicodemus lowered his bow, right? The second Redmond was gone.
He's just standing there slack-jawed.
I think Aki, very angry, kind of reminiscent of some sort of game, some other game, was aiming for Nicodemus's neck just to like completely lop it off the shoulders. But I think Aki knows when a combatant is no longer a threat. And the second he lowered his bow, Aki would have stopped the blade right in front of him.
I think Nicodemus hardly acknowledges that, and I was wrong. I was wrong. It's Gus. It's Gus. It's not Redmond. I was wrong. Gus was. And then I turn and meet your eyes, Aki.
You are a pathetic dog, but you have a good bark. It's good to know who your true master is. And I'm going to sheath my sword and walk away.
At the same time, Okaran will alight himself in divine, holy, white flame. His eyes turning red, furious and faithful despite feeling this weakness. He does not shake his belief in himself, and Gus's belief in himself is also not shaken. John, you tell me what happens.
Wow. I think Gus uses a little bit of misdirection that he fell victim to on the front lies from lies. He goes to feint an attack like directly at Okaran, and then slips behind, trips him so he falls to his knees. And then, like in my vision, I wrap the chain around his neck and whisper, "War isn't fair," as I squeeze.
As you go to feint center mass, he will channel all of this energy to both block and then just like eject forward. This like blast which will scorch like to the edge of this step and beyond. There's a blast of magic coming over. As it clears, he is already tripped down. And by the time he understands what's happening, the chain goes taut just before he grabs it. You strangle him, and he throws his head back to try to look at you, and he still believes. You look in the now like pure red across his eyes, that like corruption or corruption is a word. The like darker element of the general that hides there, the lineage of destruction that lives alongside with justice, glowing red. As you strangle him, do Gus's eyes begin to glow red?
I believe so, and he would eventually do what he said he was going to do and take that light. Yeah.
As you strangle him, as his eyes begin to dim, your eyes begin to glow. Gus brings out the holy war under his command.
I think so.
I think we will see images. We see soldiers fighting on the front lines, dying faithfully. I've gone too far in my notes. There it is. We see soldiers on the front lines dying faithfully. We see Redmond with his sword and shield, imbued with a small favor of the general. We see the ground of the Vinici steppe open. And at first we see a massive white gauntlet grab the edge. Then we see an image of large wings unfolding, and we hear tens, hundreds, thousands of voices from beyond. Infernal shouts. We feel the presence of war. Along with knights, there are divine mages. There are strange creatures who are both angel and devil, being torn apart as they are attached to each other. You see one where there is like sharing the same torso for the most part, coming out the back like higher with its own set of arms, a devil, and below, lying almost limp, with the arms limp as well, an angel, two sets of wings, and along the angel's head, which has this mantle, has become a bow. This is one creature in two forms. I think this is also the moment that becomes clear of the parts about the general that you do not know. There are mounts and barges that come through. This is no small force. As they come through and are beset upon the world, what is the first command that Gus gives?
The front lines right now, where they are, is that like a populated the where Lies is?
Oh yeah. No, that's largely like Lies taken over area. Like as in to say they created that area.
Yeah. Okay. And I think that would be the first command: just help our soldiers on the front lines.
As they look ahead, you see that you see there is like a 50-foot tall armored devil angel thing. You see that its two sets of wings are like almost touching each other rather than being like on two sides. They're like come from the same point. You see the kind of horns in the halo. You see as you give the command, it will look at you, and look you straight in the eyes. And there's the moment for a second where you're like, once again, this is bigger than me. Before it interprets your command and raises a weapon of some kind and points toward the horizon to Chrysium and leads its forces, presuming with the defending legion who didn't have to defend here, towards that location. Redmond.
Hello.
You're on the front lines.
Fuck.
And I have your swing.
You do? And my miracle. First one.
I could tease you and have you roll something, or a duel, or a luck check. I'm not going to be so silly. I think we both know that Redmond dies like a good soldier on the front lines. How do you think that happens?
I think
kind of creature, etc.
I think he dies honestly by anytime he would receive fatal damage, he tries to call upon a miracle and slowly corrupts himself.
Yeah. I fuck with it. So kind of the tragic like irony, like you take multiple severe injuries. You see as like whether it is a crystalline hatred who swipes open your throat and your chest, and you bring upon a miracle, and you become a weaker warrior, as you call upon this power. Give me a luck check.
We'll go general colors.
High stakes.
It's so weird though, because one of them is a metal dice, and so it doesn't want to roll unless I force it to. All right. Well, having two matching numbers doesn't always help. 113.
4.
Okay.
5.
Ooh.
6.
Ooh.
Calling upon miracle after miracle to keep going. I think the corruption of the general is one that weakens the body. I think if the standard is to live up to be a good soldier, the corruption is at first being a bad soldier. And I think Redmond gets lost in his faith. I think he's consumed with a sort of delusion. And I think as you use miracle after miracle, falling from your face are the symbols that bound you to service of the general. And when your body lays still and cold, your face is clean of them. We will first see into Ismary's afterlife. You open your eyes, squealing. Your body feels different. You're in immense pain, and you have shards of memories of who you are or were. You're in a pit, and there are creatures all around you that are struggling against you. They all have white skin and red marbling on them. Both like half bat wings, half bird wings, like half the angel and devil. Your head, it feels almost like splitting. There feels like there's like two elements of you. And there is a red, like thick red split down the direct center of all of these creatures' heads, where there is both like a white glow and horns, small horns. You are an imp of the general. As you crawl amongst all of these other imps, you see that some are being grabbed out and being put in armor. What do you think Ismarie is experiencing in this moment? To not understate the very nature of your being of infernal and celestial origin now, causes constant and near unbearable pain.
Real fuck. Um, I think in like the same way that like conceptualizing this right, um, what an overwhelming existence of like you said, this near unbearable pain and these flashes of memories of who he was, who he might have been. And I think that the things that stick the most, as I'm sure he, writhes and scrambles, I think that there are two things that are louder than the rest. It I couldn't even say it repeats in his head, as in like I don't think it is conscious thought, if that makes sense. But just over and over again, between you fight for a cause and remember, even if at times he does not know, like in this scrambling of like of memory, of pain, he does. There's not always like the conscious knowledge of what cause, of remember what. Um, and there is a like again like a scrambling, arriving, to remember and to fight. And, kind of however you feel as though that manifests within like the form he is, for lack of a better word, condemned to.
You'll be grabbed from the pile. Every movement of your body is blinding pain. And I think Ismarie is repeating the thoughts he has out loud. Remember, you fight for a cause. Remember, remember. To himself, manically. And in Infernal, which you now understand, whichever creature has grabbed you will say, yeah, that's a good soldier. And will slam you down and strap you in armor and give you a weapon. Nicodemus, in Chrysium, you are small once more. There is something terrifying about servants of the general in how dangerous they are. The forces of lies you were once afraid of. The forces of lies, their power is in deception. The forces of the general, their power is in obliteration. They are tuned to obliteration. Their point is to destroy righteously and brutally. They are, not that Nicodemus would understand this, not that anyone would get this impression. Cosmically, the forces of the general of Arthetem are of a lesser class than the pure head of the pantheon creatures of lies. Does not matter. They have their purpose, which is much more clear in this circumstance. You fight in the wake of this army. You fight amongst stragglers, cultists, and half-broken crystalline devils left behind, trying to gain ground, trying to flank and failing. Your shots strike. Well, actually, you tell me how your shots are striking right now.
Probably at first, not well. He's shaken. I think on some level his faith is shaken. Because it seems like his understanding of the general might be wrong. So yeah, I think he misses, like he's off his game. And if he doesn't survive to find his game again, that's fine. But I think if he does survive long enough, maybe he starts to build his faith back and his aim comes back with it.
Roll me a luck check.
3, 4, 6.
ground that you tread upon is of shattered and broken crystal. It is like a rocky beach of one kind of stone. Every step, once sundered by the force ahead of you, now crunches beneath your feet. 1, 2, 3. You see a handful of crystalline devils attempt to assail whatever large group you are in. You raise your bow and miss. Raise your bow and miss, and a soldier dies, and raise your bow and miss, and another soldier dies, and you raise your bow, and there's a crystalline hatred leaping at you. And as you stumble backward, strike it in the arm, it will tumble, and as it falls, it will claw open your thigh. You will fall before someone or perhaps something beside you. I think perhaps some of these tortured knights in very sparse numbers walking with the back line. You see a serrated sword come down and smash in one hit this creature into pieces. You are bleeding so much from your leg, you cannot feel below a certain point. A mixed luck check leaves you with an injury that I don't think Nicodemus will properly recover from. I don't think he dies this day. But I think when he does die, he will have lived a much more miserable and confused existence. Lucky for you, your service is not decayed. If you're a good soldier, maybe there's a way forward. Aki, I do not think it is necessary for Aki to follow the holy war into Chrysium in this first location. I don't think that's your fight. I think your fight has always been about the people of De Diumni. And this happens a step above that. I think you and your companions watch from a distance as terror unfolds upon the forces of lies, a terror that they have only known to impose until this day. How does Aki feel?
I think bolstered, like a step has been taken that has not been taken before. Something that you've never done, and something that you may never do again, an achievement. And there is uncertainty if you can achieve greater than what you've achieved now, but motivation to try.
The sign of this war means a swifter end to the powers of lies across these lands. And finally, a chance, even if it is small, for the Sovietic people to unite and figure their shit out. Redmond, you open your eyes and you are cold. You're in water. Glows a pale blue, and there are reaching dark branches above.
I think he lies there for a bit. I think the cold of this water is something he can understand. And it's one feeling versus the many that he came from. He probably doesn't remember all the trauma of his death and every minute, but he can feel, definitely feels that trauma. And I think he is probably feeling like he's still in a pool of his own blood.
I was gonna say the place you are now is similar enough in vibes to De Diumni that you might be confused for a moment before realizing that the trees are not trees of De Diumni. The trees in De Diumni are these ashen pines, these straight up, not curving, not reaching. Your ears below the water line, but your eyes above.
Is he wearing his glasses?
No, but you can see just fine.
I think he slowly sits up and looks around. One, just being able to see for the first time in a while without glasses. And two, that means I'm not alive.
You are in a river that glows, and you see a hooded figure next to a boat with a skeletal hand, and behind them on the horizon, this faint flickering blue light in an otherwise dark and black sky.
I think he stands up and internally he's upset that he wasn't on the right side of this, but he's not upset that he tried to do something with his life. And I think he's thinking if they ever know what happened, at least I died for something. His family.
If they were to know what happened.
If they ever were to know what happened, yeah.
The figure will speak to you, perhaps to your surprise. You have fallen in battle. It's time for you to move on.
Well, what happens if I don't?
If you do not move on, your choices are to move on or to find service. Immediately something, you're smart enough to be like, well, no, I already served something.
Yeah. I think he's like looking around and he's like thinking that like he's not waiting for anyone here. He's not missed where he came from. I think he's accepting that whatever is behind him is behind him. And he's gonna nod and then walk towards the boatman.
Step on the boat and begin to row down the river. They will say, "I'm sorry for your fate. You have no home for your soul to go. You will enter a great nothingness and be one with yourself until one day you fade."
We fight and we die.
I think they'll, as they row, will be quiet. The river will flow from between the dark trees out into nothing. There are distant, colored clouds of the cosmos, of orange and purple, but so dark. There are distant little points of light. As you are sailing or rowing into the nothing, they will say, "Is there nothing you wish to know?"
Is there any light for me at the end of this?
No.
Then it doesn't matter.
Your sense of peace does. The rest of your existence can be found in thoughtful reflection or in suffering. But that is your choice. And I will be the last voice you speak to help guide you to peace.
I think tears are falling down his face, but he's not talking.
You tried and conjured great effort in your life in service of something you did not fully understand, as many do. It is very human, mortal, to succumb to faults. Know that in absence of your service to Othatemp, no matter how much tumult you experience in the throes of your emotions and how you may torment yourself, will be nothing in comparison to the violence that would live within your body, haunting your every moment. The pain of the existence of service, of the general, is one very unique in this cosmos.
I think he wipes away his tears. I have not the time to deal with my pain.
A question I will leave you with. Is it better to have purpose and suffer, or have peace but no direction? And then,
Ask me in 1,000. Oh,
sorry, go ahead.
I think he'll say, "Ask me in 1,000 years,"
Will
and
nod.
laugh at his own joke.
As you laugh, the boat will begin to fade. The colors will begin to fade. And everything but your mind and consciousness will begin to fade, suspended in nothing. Gus. I think we'll pick up some days after Chrysium, to the beginning of the Holy War. You feel a power risen within you. There's a pain that lives within your chest of its conflict. And a sadness, perhaps, that comes with it. You know, almost every soldier who has died at Chrysium has come back and rejoined the army. You now speak infernal, inexplicably, and celestial. In your risen power, you are somewhat of a peer to some of these creatures who speak to you bluntly and coldly. A tortured knight will approach you. Say in infernal that you have been assigned something to your service. Its name is Therkinen.
Therkinen?
Therkinen. Therkenin. A gift from the divines in Ilkadi. And we'll step aside, and you'll see an armored imp with a little spear. Nothing about it is familiar, except the look it has in its eyes. And we'll close there. Pow, 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 pow.
Oh, I hope that torments Gus for the rest of his life.
Bark, 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 bark.